Before you do anything, before you work on the engine, and cleanliness is paramount. So we need to clean the engine, wash the engine, remove dirty. Despite just working on the filter, the engine must be cleaned. After you've cleaned the engine, procedure is always pack the machine or machine. This is to prevent the machine from rolling. We would have said run the engine, but because you are washing and you are coming to park, the engine will have run. Okay. 2. This is to prevent oil spillages in the workshop. It simply means that a suitable container must accommodate the oil that will drain from the filter base or bracket. Okay, we've already talked about warming the engine to its optimum operating temperature to simply allow some dirty to move from the engine and remain in the filter. That is very important. So, warm the engine to its optimum operating temperature. And finally, remove the oil filter from its base by using a suitable filter wrench. Others, they call it filter strap. Basically, this is the procedure that is done when changing or removing and fitting the oil filter. Having done that, let's now go to the engine and see and follow the procedure as it is. Put a suitable container underneath the filter. This is the engine oil filter. Using a suitable filter wrench, remember that this oil will not be reused. This oil filter will not be reused. So using okay, just like that. If this engine was a runner, we would see oil dripping, coming out, and just remove the filter slowly so that you don't spill off. You don't spill oil on the ground. Okay. This oil filter has done its useful lifespan. So after you've removed it from the engine, dispose of this filter in a suitable container. Do not throw the filter anyhow. It must be in a designated area. So as it is, I'm going to throw it in the waste basket for oil filters. A new oil filter, which I'm going to install on the engine. Clean the base. After cleaning the base, using a clean rag, put a film of oil on the filter, on the seal. Just a okay. Your hand must be clean Smear a film of oil on the seal. Do not fill oil in this filter. Read the instructions on the oil filter as you install it. They are basically instructions to be followed when installing the oil filter. So after you've smeared a film of oil on the seal, align the filter on its base and install the filter by hand. Once it has reached its base, the seal has touched the base, then turn it that way. The filter has been installed. Run the engine, check for leakages. If there are no leakages, release the machine for operation. You've changed the engine oil filter. Basically, that's the precaution, that's the procedure for changing engine oil filters. But there's a precaution. Each manufacturer recommends OEMs, which is original manufacturer specification, equipment specifications. Volvo have their own filters, Caterpillar have their own filter ranges, and you need to you need to buy the correct filter and install it on the engine it is meant for. Do not get counterfeits. Refer to the service manual when you are buying the filter or you are getting from the stores, so that you use the correct type of oil filter when changing the filter from the engine. And again, the oil that is supposed to be in your can must be engine oil that you are going to use on the engine. Do not fill the oil can with any other type of oil. Let's imagine we have drained oil, we've changed the oil filter. After draining oil from the engine, fill the engine with the correct type of oil, and then it must be to the correct level. This is your filler cap. Ensure that it's clean. Clean it. This is your filler. You put oil there until it reaches the correct level. Now, how do I measure my oil and ensure that it is at its correct level? We have the dipstick here. This is the dipstick. Others, they call it oil level gauge. You also read what is the procedure of checking oil. Each manufacturer has different methods. Others will recommend that you check oil level when it's cold, and this will be your minimum and maximum. Once your oil level has reached this point, do not top up. So that's just remove like that. Check that the oil level is just there at the maximum point. Run the engine. Run the engine, then recheck oil level again. It's important to do a recheck. The Dipstick, apart from helping us to know the oil level, it also performs other functions. It tells you the condition of oil. Once you take it out, it can tell you whether, it can show you whether oil is mixing with a coolant. Because if oil is mixing with coolant, then the oil on the dipstick will be milkish, to appear like milk. If it's mixing with fuel, oil will not stick to the dipstick. It will just roll off. And if it's very dirty, you will also see that it's very dirty by using the same dipstick. So it tells you the condition of oil, the level of oil. These are some of the functions of the dipstick, to tell you the condition of oil and the level of oil. Ensure that the dipstick is firmly seated.